You know, last night I couldn't sleep.
Oh?
I was awake for several hours, and thanks to the implants, I got to hear some very interesting dreams of yours.
Man cannot be held responsible for what his mind does while he's asleep.
What about when he's awake?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fully Functional, a TNG podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo.
Jeff and I are veteran Trekkies, and Dory is a newly minted Trekkie. We are taking her on her first journey through Star Trek The Next Generation, and we are, once again, continuing our journey through the home stretch of TNG, Season 7. Today we're discussing the episode Attached. Original air date is November 6th, 1993. And as always, we'll take it to Dory for the recap.
Okay. I'm gonna use... I want to scream already, but I'm going to use restraint and wait till the end. So, let's begin. Okay. So, the Enterprise is going to Kesprit 3 in order to evaluate an unusual request on the part of the Kes for associate membership of the Federation. So Dr. C and Picard I wrote breakfast, and then Dr. C is talking about how people were late in the morning, so then I crossed out and wrote dinner, and then later they said breakfast again, so then I wrote breakfast. So I wrote two different words, cross them both out during this one scene. And Picard is like fully zoned out, which should have been pretty obvious to Dr. C, because he was turned in a different direction.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking at her, he was like turned completely to the side.
She was too busy spilling the hot goss, though.
Yes, she was. People were late. Some nurses were late. So I wrote worried adjacent because the Kes, they want like a good chunk of their planet to join the Federation, but not like everyone, because it's split into the Kes group and the Priet.
That's why they're called Kesprit. Get it?
Yeah. They only said it 65 billion times in the episode, and yet I'm like, how do you pronounce it? Prit.
It's like if Earth were split between the Ia and the Earth part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Kes take up about 3/4 of the planet, basically, and the Prit take up the remaining basically quarter, but like they don't want to have contact with anyone outside the planet.
Yeah, they're like isolationist.
Yeah, and Picard points out that like everyone else who's entered the Federation was part of a unified world. So like kind of weird they aren't doing that, because like the Kes are progressive and whatever, and the Priet are Prit.
Yeah, it's spelt with a Y, but it's a short vowel. It's like a short I.
Prit.
Yeah.
They're like super isolated and apparently kind of xenophobic, so cool. And so then Dr. C is like, well, what if like Australia didn't want to join the Federation when the Earth joined? Would like the Earth be disqualified then? And Picard's like, I don't think that's an equal analogy, but we did learn from this. I mean, maybe this is news just to me, but learned that Earth joined the Federation in 2150. So only 125 years from now.
Earth founded the Federation in 2150.
Okay, well, there you... Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a misnomer, but yeah, because Earth like was one of the founding planets of the Federation. But yeah, that's the year
or rather,
established.
no, I think it's 2160, and 2151 is when Earth became unified.
Oh, okay.
Because he said, Dr. C said 2150.
Yeah, well, okay, so it was something like 9 years in between the two, but that said, that's been retconned anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was more focused on like the year of that, and I was like, wow, so that's 125 years in the future, which makes it basically the equivalent of like the year 1900 to now, which is honestly fucking crazy to think about of like how like what the world was like in 1900 compared to now.
Yeah. What's the year of first contact? Is it? It's 2065.
Oh, 2063. No, it's 2063.
Oh, 63? I thought it was 67.
No, I use it for a bunch of like it's part of like a bunch of passwords that I have. So
okay.
It's a very easy to remember year for me.
Yeah, good saying that on a
Part
on a
of
podcast.
part
Yeah.
of. Good luck guessing it, guys. The rest of it doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Yeah. But yeah,
but,
2063 is at least according to like the Star Trek lore, is when the first time aliens contact Earth, when the Vulcans contact Earth.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Dory, just before we get too ahead of ourselves, I would like to point out that when they bring up years of like things that happened in history in Star Trek, take it with a grain of salt, because they're either mentioning it offhand like this, in which case they haven't put a lot of thought into it yet, or it becomes a major part of the story, in which case they have to retcon it. So there's a lot of that.
Classic.
Yeah.
A lot of
But-
this has not
Classic.
been... They didn't think about the year that hard. They were like, I don't know, 150-ish years from now, and we'll just, like, ballpark it from there.
Yeah.
TOS was notorious for not actually having a timeline. They avoided having, like, setting the actual year that was taking place.
Well, that's
except
very
for a couple
classic
exceptions.
behavior.
Yeah, they do eventually, but early on, they're like, I don't know, 500-ish years, but guess.
Yeah, I mean, they say that the whole like the genetics wars or whatever were in like the 90s or some shit.
Yeah, the eugenics.
Eugenics
Yep.
wars. So yeah, Dory, take it with a grain of salt, but also I agree with, I think, if I'm understanding you correctly, your ultimate point is just like, wow, it's crazy to think about that we'd have luxury gay space communism in merely 120 years.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
it just like it's not. My point was mainly that it's just not. It's not as far away as like you think it would be.
Yeah.
Well,
Because like 125
we have to go
years,
through
that's
hell
not-
to get there.
Yeah.
Earth goes through
Listen,
a third
don't we
world
all?
war that ends up with 600 million dead.
Oh my god. Well,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't mean like. Okay. Well. I don't want that to happen, obviously.
Well, that's
I'm
okay,
just
because it's going to
saying
happen in the next
that-
couple of years, apparently. So
No,
there we go.
don't say
I think it was
that.
like
Knock on wood.
2027 or 28 or
No,
29, something
no.
like that.
Yeah.
So,
No,
you know,
no.
the
well,
world is nigh.
they also said Ireland would reunify in 2024. So,
Yes, and I remember when that happened.
yeah. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah. Okay, so Riker calls Picard that the ambassador Morik is ready for Picard and Dr. C. And Dr. C's like, well, I have a Vulcan dish planned for tomorrow's breakfast. And Picard is like, okay. All right.
He's like, yay.
Okay, so now we are in transporter room, and Worf sends Dr. C and Picard, who's in sport mode, to the ambassador, but gasp, he didn't, because immediately they're like, okay, you can send them now, and Worf's like, I did, and they're like, no, you didn't, and he's like, and then here's the wild part of this whole little scene here. Worf, number one, Worf takes, I timed it, 5 full seconds to do absolutely nothing, to just stand there in shock to learn that from when they're like, no, they're not here, to when it cut to the opening credits, it was 5 seconds. And he just stood there looking shocked. Meanwhile, the guy next to him, who is hearing the same exact information, no response. No reaction. This guy has just heard that his captain and like Dr. C are missing, and this guy does not even look up.
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
could tell you why.
What is this scene?
No, it's really quite simple. That guy's an extra who didn't read the script and has no idea what's going on, because the all of the dialogue is ADR.
Yeah. And probably they were about 3 or 4 seconds short on the episode, so the editors just, added let that shot breathe a bit.
I mean,
Yeah.
personally,
Multiple
I think
breaths.
Worf looked fucking horrified.
Yeah.
He did look horrified, but he stood there just horrified for 5 straight seconds.
That is true.
Did they do the classic
so-
push in? I forget.
Yes, they
Yeah. They do that a lot
just
where they
was-
just have they just have them stand there for an extra few seconds so that they can have the camera push in to be all dramatic and shit.
Yeah. This actually was a very funny episode for Worf reactions.
Yes.
Okay, so then opening credits. Now we cut to Picard. He wakes up on a dirty floor. And him and Dr. C, they're in this prison cell. There's like this little device has been attached, or I guess kind of installed to the back of their necks to
Attached.
their brain
It's the
stems.
name of the episode.
Oh my god.
Oh. And then the door to the cell opens, and like 3 people come in, and they're in like really ugly outfits. I hate these outfits.
Yeah.
They're like blue and like grayish brown, but they're cat suits basically, but like horrible.
Yeah,
and
they're
they've got,
onesies,
like,
but also with a hood.
yeah, it's like if a balaclava was somehow uglier. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're this is a horrible character design.
Yeah.
So we
He looks
now
goofy.
establish it looks very silly. It looks like children's pajamas that they just like quit.
Yeah.
They just were like doing it, and then they were just like, I can't, and they just left the designs on the floor.
Yeah.
So okay, so we now are established that this is the
Prit.
Prit Security Ministry, and they are being charged with conspiring with the enemy. And the Prit think that the Federation are making a military alliance with the Kez, and the devices that have been implanted in their cerebral cortexes will soon be calibrated to their psi wave pattern. And I went, ooh, truth bombs be coming. So then back on the ship, Riker, Worf, and Data realize, oh, it was like a tractor beam interference that took Dr. C and Picard away.
Yeah, because at this point they have, like, before this they have no idea what happened. So like for all they know, they could have been like transported into nothing at this. Like they don't even know they've been kidnapped.
Yeah. So, but they were able to figure.
Yeah.
The Enterprise figures all this shit out very quickly.
Yeah.
That okay, they're at the Prit alliance, like they're there. So Riker wants a meeting with the ambassador, Morik, like immediately. So back in the cell, Picard is like playing around with these little bars in the cell, and he is like trying to check if there are structural flaws that will allow them to escape. Gasp. And then Picard tells Dr. C to think positively and not give up hope. There's always a solution. It's just a matter of finding it. And then this guy comes in and brings them what they think is initially food. It's like one of those trays with the big lid. And Picard's
with
like...
a cloche, I believe it's called.
Oh, fancy. And Picard's like, well, at least this means they plan on keeping us a while. We're not going to starve to death. And then Dr. C, she's like, I'm beginning to think negatively, Jean-Luc. And then, surprise, we open no food, but it is Dr. C's tricorder. And a map has been added to the main directory. So she's like, oh, this must be... She immediately... Dr. C's survival instincts, non-existent. In this particular situation, she's like, it's a map, they must be escaping, that guy's obviously like a Kez spy or whatever. And then I was like, this seems very much like a trap. This whole episode felt like a trap.
Yeah.
And so many times I was like, oh, something's gonna happen here, and then it didn't.
Yeah, I usually skip this episode, so I forgot what happened. So the direction I thought it was gonna go is very different than how it ended up going. In terms of
mine
the
was wrong.
Yeah, in terms of the actual plot of the episode, I remembered the Picard Crusher stuff, but not the actual plot.
yeah, I was like, this seems very convenient, seems like a trap. And then Picard is also like, yeah, this could be a trap.
Yeah.
So they just like very easily just like exit the cell.
But I just want to point out that Dr. C does say, she's like, yeah, she's basically like, yeah, it could be, but I'd rather take my chances doing this, which I
fair.
do agree with. Yeah. So yeah, she is a little naive to like accept it immediately, but I do agree with her that it's like, well, this at least gets us out of the cell, so we may as well try.
Okay, so back on the Enterprise, Troy, Riker, Worf meet with the ambassador, Morik, and his aide, I guess. I don't know, some other guy. And Morik is like, oh, we can send a hostage rescue team to be down there in like 3 hours. But Riker's like, girl, we haven't even tried diplomatic relations yet, so hold your butt, like, take hold on.
Yeah, maybe don't jump. Yeah, maybe don't jump to the violent solution immediately.
Yeah. But Mark is like, well, we don't really know how to contact them, so. But Worf is like, we can determine their communication frequencies and establish a link. And Mark is like, you guys, the Prit are dumpster people, and they're not going to respond to those communications.
Yeah.
So, have fun with that. The last time they had like diplomatic relations was like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And Troy's like, well, maybe there have been changes in the last like 100 years. But Mark is like, well, we have had like less formal exchanges, and don't bet on it. They are weirdos who didn't change. And Riker's like, okay, well, we're gonna go with nonviolence for right now.
Yeah.
And then, but Mark's like, in the meantime, will you prepare for nonviolence? I will prepare for violence. And Mark is so fucking sketchy.
Yeah.
I thought he was for sure like the villain here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if this is too early to get into this, but what I thought was going to happen was that it turned out it actually wasn't the Prit that kidnapped them. It was the Kez because of some whatever.
That's what I also thought it was them for initially too.
Yeah. But no, that'd be
just
too
like set up so they could. Yeah, I thought that initially that the Kez were the ones that like actually kidnapped, and they were trying to frame the Prit
exactly,
so they would have a reason to bust in and like take over their land. So then they would be at like a unified planet, so that there would be like even less hesitation about letting them into the Federation.
Yeah, that's basically what I thought as well.
Yeah, but they no, that is not the route this went.
Things are exactly what they appear to be.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Especially, okay, so then this next part also was like part of what like was like, okay, this guy is sketchy as fuck. So Morik tells Riker that there's a breach in the Kez communication network, and that's how they think that the Prit heard about Picard and Dr. C's transport. And he's like, I would like to establish a base of operations on the Enterprise. He'd feel secure, like more secure and safe there. And Riker's like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. And
he's like, Worf will help you.
Yeah. So Worf brings Morik and his aide into a room, and Morik is being so fucking weird about it. And that this was also like, I was like, this feels too much like last episode where they were setting up that guy to seem like he was really like he was the bad guy, like he was up to some shit, but really he's just a weird, like just being weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were like, listen, we don't need your assistance. Goodbye, Worf. So back on.
I also feel it's important to point out that Worf is very offended that they
don't want his help.
But because they're basically like because Worf takes it as a personal thing of like, oh, because he's the chief security officer, so he's like, he takes it as an insult that they're saying like that, they're double checking his security measures and shit.
Okay, so back on the planet we have Dr. C and Picard. They open a fake rock door into this like cave chamber thing, and Picard takes off his jacket, and he's like, gotta be a lava flow or a hot spring nearby. And I was like, yeah, you would think that. But then Dr. C's like, yeah, actually, it's a lava flow.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it. And so then they walk out, and then they keep walking. And Picard just leaves his jacket on the ground, just walks away from sport mode.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Picard, do you have an endless supply of these jackets?
I mean, probably.
Because you could have just taken it off and like either tied it around your waist or your shoulders or something. You just put the jacket on the ground and called it a day.
Yeah, because
That
like
is
you don't.
so wild to me.
Yeah, you don't know what kind of like weather you're going to encounter. Like maybe once you get
Yeah.
out of the cave, it's like fucking you're in a frozen mountain or something. Like you don't know.
Yeah, but he just left it on the ground and walked away.
Yeah.
I've got bad news for you, Dory.
What?
Are you ready?
No.
They accept the continuity of him leaving the jacket there, and it's never seen again.
We never see sport mode again?
That's right.
Oh.
This was the last of sport mode?
Yep.
Even though I was,
Oh my god.
I was gonna say that that is very sad. Although,
Yeah.
although to
sport mode.
although to your question, Dory,
Yeah.
he does actually have an unlimited supply of these jackets because of the replicators. So,
Oh,
True.
yeah.
True.
so he could
Well,
have, but he unfortunately, yeah, this is the last of sport mode.
A moment of silence for sport mode.
Mm-hmm.
May its memory be a blessing.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot together, us in sport mode.
Mm. In the arms of an angel.
I love the idea that somehow, some way, and someone who like actually has to do with TNG would hear this one part about us mourning a jacket that we've seen a bunch of times.
Yeah. And like honestly, not that often.
But like a good amount that I
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it has like we have a name for it.
Yeah.
But well, sport mode will be missed.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so they're in this cave thing, and then there's like little fire eruptions from the ground, so they kind of run through it with the tricorder map. And then they're like, oh, Dr. C smells gas, and then fireball, do 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 do.
Yeah, because they're dodging and weaving these like little puffs of fire, and then Picard's like, "Oh my god, the eruptions have stopped," and she's like, "The gas is built up," and then huge fireball.
Yeah, so they go running out of the room. Okay, so back on the Enterprise, Data has figured out a comm link to the Prime Minister's office of Prit, but they're like, Prit is not really prepared for extra.
Yeah,
What the fuck did I write? They're not prepared for like outside the planet interactions.
yeah,
So they are probably going to be surprised as fuck to hear from them. So Riker calls the PM's office, and the person answers is basically like, how did you get this number?
yeah.
This is an unauthorized conversation. Goodbye, bitch. And then immediately after, the Enterprise is now being hailed by the Prit Security Council. And then we see Security Minister Lauren, who's one of the people that was in the went to see Dr. C and Picard in the cell.
Yeah.
And she says to Riker, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
She's like, stop trying to talk to us. We don't want to talk to you. Get the fuck away from here.
Yeah,
But Riker's like, cool.
Yeah, lose our number,
But
bitch.
Yeah, but Riker's like, cool, but you have our people. Can we talk about that real quick? And she's like, no, keep trying, and we will take aggressive action against the ship. And then Worf, though, is like, their weapon systems pose no threat to the Enterprise.
Yeah.
But Riker's like, yeah, but let's like keep the shields up just in case.
Yeah.
Just keep it. It's fine.
Which is honestly like a lot more like prescience than these guys have had before. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, usually this show does not seem too concerned with safety. So
Yeah.
that's actually for once they're like, you know what? Maybe let's do the smart thing.
Yeah, they're like WSIB, never heard of her.
For just in case an American is listening to this, that's the Canadian equivalent of like OSHA, Workplace Safety Board.
Yeah. Okay, so then, here's something that has always kind of bothered me a little bit, but I don't think it really came to head until this episode. Morik just like walks onto the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Why
that was
do
strange.
so many people have access to the bridge that I don't understand why they would have such access to the bridge to just walk on whenever? It seems like a place where you would probably need restricted access to enter.
Yeah, like
Otherwise, anyone can fucking go in there. Like, I feel like too many people have access to the bridge.
Like, I know he's a diplomat and they're in like a, you know, an active situation, but I still agree with you, Dory. I still feel like he should at least need an escort or approval. Like, he has way too much freedom to just wander around the ship, honestly.
At least knock or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least like a heads up, like a like buzz the bridge or something.
Yeah. I did not like the amount of freedom they gave to this guy, or the amount of freedom he just took.
Yeah.
So Mark is like, good news. You guys might be,
Oh, your people
What
have
the fuck did
escaped,
I write?
I think he says. Something like that.
no, there was something else that I wrote here that I do not know what the word is. I don't know what I wrote, but the gist is he tells Riker that one of their guys gave them the tricorder, so they were able to escape, and they're on their way towards the border.
Yeah,
and Riker's like, cool, love more details about this mission. But Mark's like, cool, but like not in this public environment. And I'm like, bitch, you went to this public environment.
Also, it's the fucking bridge. Like, it's one of the most secure places on the whole ship. I mean,
I mean, that's debatable.
You still have to walk on.
Yeah, that's debatable.
Yeah, after I said that, I realized. It should be the most secure place. Like, theoretically.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
But Mark wants to meet in his quarters rather than the ready room because his quarters are safer. So back on the planet, Dr. C and Picard are like wandering around this cave. They haven't. Oh, they're hearing things. Oh, they're hearing things now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I know. I understand what I'm writing now in this context. Okay. So Picard thought. Oh, she's like, oh, I'm also thirsty or something. And he's like, oh, I didn't say anything. And so now we're kind of realizing that they can kind of hear each other's thoughts. Not every thought, but like kind of sporadically. They can kind of hear what they're thinking because of the implant. And so then but they're sort of at the bottom of this huge thing of rocks in which Dr. C's like, oh, we have to like climb out of here to get to, she says, the next tunnel, but it does not go to a tunnel, it goes to outside.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Picard starts to climb, and then he turns around and says, I heard that. And I thought that Dr. C must have said something like, nice ass, or I don't know, something, by the way he turned around, but it turns out it was just like, oh, she's scared of heights.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. That's fine, I guess. And so then they just climb out, and he's like, it's fine, just like one step at a time.
Yeah.
So they climb out and they're out.
Yeah, it's just a moment to sort of establish that they're starting to hear each other's thoughts more and more and stuff like that.
Yeah. So then back on the Enterprise, Riker walks into Mark's quarters, and there's like a bunch of these devices set up for quote unquote security. And I wrote in my notes, it is starting to look like the back row of Spencer's in there.
Yeah.
With all the glowing shit.
Because they do have the big static ball thing. And like.
Yeah. I'm like, they're missing a lava lamp.
Yeah.
It's so weird because it, like, Star Trek looks like it's trying to be, like, the future, but with like all of these 80s sensibilities, and yet their tech looks like it's trying to be the future with 70s sensibilities.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, we need it to look like these guys are less advanced, so
honestly,
what did the future look like in 1972?
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think a 70s future is one of my favorite, like, retrofuturism aesthetics. Because, I don't know, I'm just thinking of, like, the original Alien movie, where it's, like, it's a future in a spaceship, but they still have, like, CRT monitors and, like, physical buttons and all this stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
And, like, wood paneling. not in, they don't have that in Alien, but...
No, but in similar things, yeah.
But in similar things,
Logan's Run has tons of wood paneling.
Yeah, yeah. Because in case anyone didn't know, the retrofuturism is what it's called when you're like, oh, the vision of the future from a past era. Like, the Jetsons is like 1950s, 60s retrofuturism.
Technically, so is Fantastic Four, the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't watch it, but I saw all the stuff for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new one, the Pedro Pascal one.
That's what I mean.
I've just seen one clip from that movie, and it's the clip of Julia Garner, who's in silver. Mm-hmm. I don't know what her character is. I don't really know Fantastic Four, but she heralds a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I can't. She says it in a very like grand voice.
Silver Surfer.
She heralds.
I think.
Oh, okay, party. Yeah. I just remember she does this speech and she's like, I herald this, I herald that, and then I herald Galactus. I don't know who or what Galactus is
like,
but this
is like the big bad.
Yeah, he's like a big god level bad.
Yeah, he's on the same level as as Thanos from like the MCU.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then that's pretty bad.
I just want to say, I just want to make this point. Excluding the current Fantastic Four movie because I haven't seen it, I still think the best Fantastic Four movie up until this point is the Roger Corman one. Unironically.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Even though it's like a piece of shit that was never meant to be released.
Dory, for the record, Roger Corman is like kind of a what do you call it? Kind of a bit of a prodigy in the filmmaking community, but not in necessarily a good way.
Yeah, he's infamous for making really cheap movies.
Yeah, he could make an okay movie on any budget.
Yeah. And that's the thing, his movies aren't like, they're not, on an objective level, they're not good, but they're usually fun and they're efficient.
Yes, and they're competent.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're sitting there watching it and going like, "Oh my god, this is slop. Like this is so badly put together." Because it's not badly put together. It's just cheap acting and usually a cheap script too.
Yeah, and the Fantastic Four movie that he made was, I think it was one of those situations where it's like, "Oh, we need to make this to keep the copyright or some shit," and
that's exactly it.
It was never intended to be released, but obviously people have gotten their hands on copies of it and shit. I think was it made in like the 90s or?
Early 90s, I believe.
Yeah, it was during that era. The 90s era of superhero movies were like terrible.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was that era where like superhero movies were like box office poison.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry to get distracted.
Except for Batman.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to get distracted with that.
Okay, so Morik tells Riker they've got spies there, and that Dr. C and Picard are supposed to be directed like through the tricorder to a small village, and they're supposed to meet at like a tavern, and then his spies are supposed to, or allies or whatever, are supposed to bring them across the border. But Riker is like not super psyched about this plan. Yeah, he's like, okay, that he doesn't love that. It's just like, that's very vague, and also like,
yeah, and
it just feels very loosey goosey.
Yeah, and the village they're going to is like a Pritt village. So he's like, I mean, they're in enemy territory, and you're asking them to like go into like this very public, like, like town with,
and then go to a tavern, which is very public also. So Riker is not really super on board with this plan. Okay, so back on the planet, we got Dr. C, Picard. They exit this cave into, I don't know that I would call this a forest per se, but
It's
There's
like
trees and shit. It's like a forest light or forest adjacent, if that makes sense.
It resembles a forest.
But
it's
it's like greenery, but not but not.
it's kind
not-
of like the desert, but there are plants. You know, it's like rocky and there's like shrubs and bushes and shit, but it's not like full on foresty kind of deal.
So it's forest adjacent. So then Picard says, one of us is hungry, and Dr. C says, that would be me. And then Picard said, would you mind thinking of something else? You're making me hungry. And then Dr. C says, what do you want me to think about? And Picard says, something other than a large bowl of vegetable soup. And then Dr. C goes, my grandmother used to bake it with peas, carrots. And then Picard goes, Beverly. And she's like, I'm sorry. And then, like, literally a few seconds later, there's like they have like a line or two something between, and the Picard just turns to her, like, after quiet, and he just goes, I'm not being unreasonable. And Dr. C says, I didn't say that you were. I may have thought it. There's a difference. Then they keep going, they're walking, blah, blah, blah.
And Picard's like, you're right. I shouldn't, hold you accountable for your every, like, random thought or whatever, because,
Yeah. So then Picard says, isn't it astonishing, though, how much clutter there is in the consciousness? Odd memories coming to the surface, bits of half-remembered songs. And then Dr. C says, stray daydreams, scattered minutia. I wonder how the telepaths sift through it all. How can they really get to what someone's thinking if mind keeps churning all this flotsam to the surface?
I mean, we can go back one episode and ask them. But,
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, you literally have Troy.
Yeah.
You can ask Troy.
Well, Troy...
You see her every day.
Troy's not a telepath.
But still, she's got to, like, she can read... She has to, I would assume, she's not going to get, like...
she can communicate with other telepaths, but she doesn't hear like.
But she just gets vibes from other people.
Yeah.
I forgot. She just gets vibes.
Yeah, she's vibes based.
She's the goddess of empathy.
But yeah, the way that, like, Picard describes all this stuff, I'm like, yeah, this is just my brain 24/7.
Yeah.
Of nonsense. So then they're walking. Okay, here. And she's just like, that's not funny. And I'm like, I want to know what he said. I want to know what they're thinking. This is driving me fucking crazy. And then they're like, okay. So they're, like, getting too much because they're standing near, like, close to each other. So they're like, maybe we should space out and see if that, like, distance the connection. But then the second they space out, they get sick.
Yeah.
They get really nauseous. So they have to stick together. And so I was like, let's hear some scandalous shit. And then they get to this point in the path where they're like, okay, do we go over this hill or that hill? And Picard's like, let's go to this one. And she's like, so you don't really know half the time. You're just kind of guessing.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I do it with captain's confidence.
Yeah. He basically, he's like faking it till he makes it.
Yeah. So then Dr. C says, when I was a little girl, she's thinking all this shit, and then he's like, oh, you really have, like, a comeback for everything. And she's like, what? Yes. And then she says out loud, when I was a little girl, my mouth was always landing me in trouble with my parents, my teachers, myself. I can absolutely relate to this.
Yeah,
Picard then says,
because before she's like, well, give me credit for learning not to actually say it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that just really stuck out to me because I literally, every report card I ever had growing up was like, Dory needs to stop talking and pay attention. And literally that's the only thing I would get in trouble for growing up at school was in elementary and high school would be being kicked out of class for, like, talking. So, like, story of my life. Okay, so then they're going down this hill and there's a prit on another hill, so they're like, oh, they sort of hide. They just kind of lean against a rock, But they're like, okay, so we kind of need to go past this guy to get to the village, but we don't want to feel like dealing with that. So like the border is like in that direction and it's closer. So let's just go to the border.
Mm-hmm.
So they head towards the border, and they'll figure out the force field when they get there.
Yeah.
They're like, that's a futurist problem. So back on the Enterprise, Morik is turning into Spencer's gift warehouse, I guess. There's
Yeah.
so much shit glowing in there. And he tells Riker and Worf, he's like, oh, Dr. C and Picard didn't show up at the rendezvous point. Really, so weird that your like people followed the escape plan until they didn't.
Yeah.
And he thinks that the Dr. C and Picard are meeting up with the Prit to like set up a military alliance.
Yeah, because
And
they're
I'm like,
establishing
this guy
this.
is the worst.
Yeah, because they're establishing that he's like ultra paranoid. He's just like a super duper
Yes.
paranoid guy.
But Riker is like not having this. He's
Yeah.
like, listen, this is very dumb. And Morik is like, oh, I think it's about time we left the Enterprise. And Riker's like, yeah, good. Take your shit with you too.
Yeah.
Set up Spencer's gift at home.
Yeah. You're gonna blow a fuse with all your glowing bullshit.
Yeah. And now we get to a scene that may have temporarily broke me.
Yeah.
So now we have Dr. C and Picard. It's nighttime. They're sitting at a campfire. I'm going to do my best
Mm-hmm.
to show, this is all my restraint now.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't find anything to eat. And we learn that Picard doesn't really like Dr. C's breakfast choices lately. He just wants coffee and croissants. And she's like, well, I also prefer coffee and croissants, but I thought we might have some variety. I'm like, I hate this. I hate that.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, out loud, they both go, I love firelight. I'm like, this... okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts telling a story about how her and Jack took Wesley, so Wes mentioned, camping or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote in my notes, I don't know what to do with this. I watched this scene 3 times.
Well, you better tell the
Bear
people.
with.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna read the exchange, just part of it, not the whole scene,
Yeah.
just the first bit. So Dr. C then says, when I said Jack and I felt this sudden wave of something, I didn't know you felt that way. And then Picard says, didn't you? And then Dr. C says, I guess I always knew that there was an attraction between us right from the start, but I never knew how strongly you felt. Why didn't you ever tell me you were in love with me? The way my mouth opened so wide,
Yeah.
my jaw clicked. It normally does, but I was just not, I don't typically do it like involuntarily, like I don't do it typically in surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't anticipate my jaw clicking, and it did because I opened my jaw so wide in my shock.
Yeah. I had a feeling that this scene would like really impact you emotionally.
Yeah.
So every moment of like hinting that there's something between them up until this point, I believe, has entirely been on Crusher's end. So this is big fucking news.
Yeah.
Yes. And also what
there's
was
been
big fucking news to me. Yeah, there's been some Picard shit where he's like kind of
Yeah, it's kind of implied that
Gazed with her.
it's kind of implied that they're both into each other, like at different points throughout the series. But this is the first
Yes.
time it's ever been directly addressed.
You can
Yes.
thank the son of Carl Sagan for that.
Don't make me have to think anything to do with Carl Sagan. We know how I feel about Carl Sagan.
No,
He
no,
sends me in spirals.
No,
And
his
now to know that
literal son
his
wrote the
son-
episode. Nick Sagan,
Well,
yeah.
there we go. Honestly,
He writes another
that-
episode too later.
Yeah.
This tracks because, of course, a child of Carl Sagan would mess me up.
Yeah.
like father like son, or like son like whatever the fuck. How dare you, child of Carl Sagan?
I'm actually going to give you some info later on, and you probably won't blame him as much, but I'll wait until we get to the end.
So some of the news to me was I didn't realize that Picard and Jack Crusher were best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never mentioned again.
I thought they were like colleagues.
Yep.
I knew that they knew each other, but I didn't realize they were best friends. That was news to me.
It's only mentioned in this scene and never again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of frustrating because it's
Yeah,
like,
but
feels like he wasn't that important in your life.
Yeah, but before this, all we knew was that Picard was his commanding officer of like...
Yes.
And he
of,
was hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Picard, though, had decided that he was never going to act on his feelings because he felt really shitty and he felt guilty. Even before Jack died, he felt kind of shitty. And then after Jack died, he promised himself he would never tell Dr. C about how he felt because it felt like he would be betraying his friend.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, so that's why you didn't want me on the Enterprise? And I'm like, I do not remember him not wanting her on the Enterprise, but maybe that's just me. I have no recollection of that, but...
At the beginning, there's... I don't know if it's flat out said, or... Well, no, because he would be the one to choose his staff, so... Yeah, maybe it's not said. It might be implied at some point in another episode, but only in, like, offhand dialogue.
Yeah.
Because I did not remember it being an issue, her joining.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
And then he drops this on me, and Picard drops this line on me, and I can't tell you. At this point, I was so happy. I was like, this is incredible. But TNG writers giveth, and TNG writers taketh away. Then he says, but over time, I realize I don't have those feelings anymore. I'm like, you bitch.
Yeah.
You really made me think there was possibility.
I mean, it's pretty clear he's not telling the truth there from what happens in the rest of the scene.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm telling you, though, how I felt in this moment. I was then became livid.
Yeah.
I was so angry. And then they're like, yeah, we're friends now. I'm like, sure, Jan. Sure, you guys are friends. It just, the emotional roller coaster I went on in this fucking one single scene. I was so mad. And then they fall asleep on the ground side by side. And I wrote so many times in this, I'm so angry.
Yeah.
Okay. So
especially because because I know that at this point you're used to them not giving you what you want, but the fact that they
dangled the carrot in front of me.
Dangled it.
And then they threw the carrot in a fucking Marianas Trench and said,
but the way I interpreted this scene is that like Picard is lying and Crusher knows he's lying, but they both are just like, they're both just like, you know what, I think staying friends is probably the best course of action despite how we feel about each other.
The lie is more comfortable than the truth.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted the scene, which I think when we get to like the end scene of the episode, I think they basically confirm that almost, not outrightly,
we'll
but
yeah,
well, yeah,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So okay, then back on the ship, Riker and Worf have Mark on the bridge, and they call the security minister Lauren, but when she's like, fuck you, and hangs up. Then Riker's like, I think we should go to the observation lounge for a chat, and then Lauren's waiting there, and I wrote, Lauren is waiting and, like me, is livid, but for different reasons.
Oh, I just want to say,
so
Dory, all credit to you to get through that without yelling. I'm very proud of you.
It was it's I'll get to my full thoughts later with this.
Yeah.
But okay. So Riker then says to them, let's all just sit down and try to find out what happened to Captain Picard and Dr. Crusher. And then Lauren says, I will not sit at a table with him. And then Moore goes, no more than I would sit with her. And then Riker goes, all right then, we'll stand.
Yeah.
And he's just Riker, honestly, is so pissed and just like frustrated with these people at this point. And so then they are this is okay. So then the Dr. C and Picard, they are spotted by the Brits as they're trying to get to the border, and they're like shooting at them. And then Riker is just like, he's like, we're done. These people are being children, but let's like fucking go. You're worried about the Kez joining the Federation? Don't worry, they're not. Mm-hmm. And Mark tries to talk back, but Riker just like roasts the Krez to his face as like a whole. And then if he says to Lauren, he's like, if anything happens to Dr. C and Picard, there will be a full-out investigation, and a fuck ton of people are gonna want answers, and everyone will show up and be there, and you guys are gonna fucking hate it. So we best be working together to figure this shit out.
Yeah, it's like, you don't want to deal with other people, but if you don't give our people, like, if you don't give Picard and Crusher back, there's going to be a hell lot more of other people there to bother you. So,
yeah. Okay, so Picard and Dr. C get to the border, and they're trying to figure out how to like get through, and there's some like gauge or whatever. The tricorder, so Dr. C is then able to get like a little hole in the force field, and she pushes Picard through to Kez territory, and the Prit then catch up with Dr. C and they get her, and they're all just standing there, and I'm like, this seems like a good time to, tell the truth, guys.
Yeah.
This is the life and death situation, but no. The Enterprise beams them up. Everyone's back. But then I was watching this on Netflix, and I saw there's still 5 minutes and 38 seconds left. Mm-hmm. So what else we got here? So Picard, Dr. C, and Riker walking down the hallway right after they're like brought up from the planet, and they're like giggling. And I'm like, I need to know. Mm-hmm. I need to know what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, because there's an implication that they're having a conversation like in their thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
And Riker's just like, what? And they just keep laughing and shit.
So now we're in Picard's quarters. Him and Dr. C are having dinner, and they're all dressed up. Picard's in his formal deep fee, and they're happy to not be like stuck together anymore. And I just wrote, I am not.
Yeah. Oh, and I have to say, like, Crusher is also like, she's in an amazing dress, and her hair is like extra big and all this shit. She looks incredible. But yeah, this is clearly like, it looks like a date.
Yes.
It straight up looks like a date. Because it's like candlelit dinner and shit.
Yeah. So then they have their drinks, they cheers to freedom, and then I just wrote, I scream. Mm-hmm. And then now they're on the couch. Well, she's on the couch, he's on a chair. Mm-hmm. I initially could not figure out what the fuck she was wearing, because I thought she was wearing a full-length skirt.
Yeah.
But when she was sitting on the couch, it was all legs. She's wearing these great burgundy tights, but it was like all legs. When she did stand up later, it is like a very short front and longer side and back. It's an interesting design.
Yeah, if you picture like the skirt's like puffy, but the front is brought up really short and with the long back, like Dory said. Her legs are amazing, by the way.
Yeah. And they both admit that they kind of like low-key miss reading each other's thoughts. Mm-hmm. And Dr. C's like, yeah, I couldn't sleep. And then she ended up hearing some very interesting dreams of Picard's. And he makes this face, and I was like, oh, we're cooking with grease here. Mm-hmm. Like, let's fucking go. And he goes, a man cannot be held responsible for what his mind does while he's asleep. And Dr. C then goes, what about when he's awake? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, let's fucking go. Mm-hmm. Then he takes her hand, and he's like, well, now that we kind of know shit about each other like this, like, how do we proceed? And then he goes and sits down to her on the couch, and I'm like, I'm hysterical at this point. I was standing.
Yeah.
I was standing at the table, the computer. I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
So then Picard says,
the dangling carrot is just getting closer and closer.
Yeah. Then Picard says, now that we know how each of us feels, perhaps we should not be afraid to explore those feelings. I almost had a stroke. Mm-hmm. then Dr. C kisses him on the cheek, and I'm like, okay.
But
okay.
very close to his lips.
Yes, and it's like a very tender kiss on the cheek. So I'm like, here we go, here we go. And then she says, or perhaps we should be afraid. And then she's like, I'm gonna...
Yeah, it's like, I should call it a night. Yeah.
And then she kisses him on the lips this time, very chastely. And he walks her to the door.
Yeah, a very quick peck.
And she walks out, and I was like, oh, she's got to turn around. She's got to come back. And she walks away, and we end the episode with him blowing out some candles. And I was catatonic.
And so was he.
Yeah.
I cannot express, now that I've watched this episode, how angry I am.
I did try to warn you that you wouldn't get what you want.
I am so beyond livid at this episode. Because, the carrot was like shoved in my nose and then pulled out and thrown into a lava flow. I'm like, what the
Okay,
like,
so, Dory, here's some background info for you specifically. So, Nick Sagan wrote the episode, and he was not part of the writer's room. He was contractor. Okay. So he came out and submitted, like, I think it was 20 different ideas or something like that. And this was the last one he submitted, and they were like, okay, let's run with it. And it was like a season or two ago that he submitted it, but they finally went, yeah, let's do it. And Nick was really big on continuity episodes. His next episode is actually also an episode that's a sequel to another episode from, like, way early in the show. But he wrote this episode with the intent of finally letting these feelings that had been, teased a bunch throughout TNG happen. And he wrote a scene into the, what do you call it? Into the campfire scene. He wrote a part of the campfire scene, rather, that included a kiss between them. And actually, like, them, admitting feelings more and like, things really happening.
Yeah. He was going to let you eat the carrot a bit.
Yes. And then Rick Berman and Michael Piller gave the script over to Ronald D. Moore and said, hey, there's all of this stuff in the B plot that we want to fix because we feel like it's too comedic and the rest of the episode is not comedic. Also drop the official stuff for the romance. Leave it in the dark because we're doing the TNG movie and we might be doing more movies and we're just going to leave it up to that. And so you can thank Berman and Piller for doing that because what Nick Sagan intended was for there to be a romance that had to be addressed in further episodes.
Well, Berman and Piller are on my enemies list now.
Yep.
Well, I think that their hearts were in the right place.
Yeah,
no, they're on my enemies list. I don't give a shit. They did this to me.
Here's the thing. Rick Berman being on your shit list just makes you more of a Trekkie. So
yes, definitely. Not Michael Piller though. That's a little different.
Yeah.
No, he's on there. He's on there.
Piller wanted to address the romance at some point, but then he backed out of the franchise before anything like that happened.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to save it for the movies, is what I'm understanding.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay. They shouldn't have, like, if they were gonna do that, they should have. Here's the thing, I understand why Dory's upset.
Yes.
And I don't blame her. However, I don't hate what they did in this episode, but I do feel like they went too far with it if they weren't actually going to go through with it. They should have have backed up more. Like, if they were going to do this. Like, they should have made it... The conversation just could have been more like... Sorry, give me a sec to sort of gather my thoughts. the conversation could have leaned more into the direction of, like, I know we have these feelings for each other, but I think us staying friends is the best move. So I feel like if they were going to do this, they should have leaned into that more. But the way they did it is like,
And I took that personally.
Yeah, I don't understand the reason for Dr. Crusher not wanting to go through with it. It would have made more sense if Dr. Crusher was the one who was like, maybe we should, maybe we should pursue this relationship, and Picard was more like, I think we should just stay friends. I think it would have made sense if it was reversed. But
yes, I agree with that.
Dr. Crusher rejecting the idea doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand her reasoning. Because Picard, like, that whole campfire scene, it lays out all of Picard's reasons for not pursuing this. So, like, they already have the groundwork laid for why Picard wouldn't want to go further with this. But there's nothing.
We also had a full-out episode last season about where Picard had a love interest that was on the ship, and she got in danger, and he was like...
Yeah.
We literally had a whole episode about why he shouldn't have a romance, be in, like, a relationship with someone on the ship.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, there's a precedent for him backing out.
Mm-hmm.
And yet...
Yeah.
Here's my problem. I would rather them have continued to not address it than have what we ended up having. Because I don't like... They're like teasing something that I've wanted for a long time, and I imagine millions of other people as well. And then they were like, here, you can almost have it. Just kidding, we're not having it for no reason.
Yeah.
And because literally, like, Dr. C doesn't give a reason. She's just like, I feel like we should be afraid of this. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And I feel like this episode would have been saved if she, like, turned around at the end and came back and she was like, yeah, so I thought about it. I'm not scared anymore. Let's do it.
Yeah, or just
like,
give her more of an explanation of why she doesn't want this.
Because I just feel really cheated. Of, like, that's the reason why I'm so mad at it, is because, like, this is something I've been rooting for a long time, and it makes me feel almost like I'm being... Like, it's patronizing in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you wanted this? Well, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're going to give you the tiniest bit of taste, like a tiniest taste, but we're not actually going to do anything with it.
Yeah, it feels malicious.
Yeah, I feel personally attacked by this episode. And I honestly, now my expectations for this show are underground. They're low. They've dropped even more, because I am so angry with this episode.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I feel betrayed by the writers. I've learned, not Nick Sagan, but Rick Berman and Michael Piller, you will get what's coming to you.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. Not really.
Well, Michael Piller died quite young.
Yeah.
So,
oh,
yeah.
shit. Okay, sorry. Whoops.
Yeah,
Sorry. Sorry. Legit sorry. I was joking.
Yeah,
but...
he was writing, what do you call it, Star Trek 9, and he ended up passing away before the film was finished, I believe.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I want to say he was like 50.
Yeah, Dory.
Oh, shit,
I think Dory meant it figuratively.
Yeah, not literally.
Yeah.
Although Brennan Braga, hope you get what's coming to you. You're not in this episode.
Definitely.
He's not even in this episode, and he's on my shit list.
Wait, Brennan Braga or Rick Berman? Do you mean?
No, I mean Brennan Braga.
Oh, okay.
He's not. He has nothing to do with this episode.
Yeah,
but he's on my shit list.
That's fair.
Half my shit list. Half my enemies list is literally people who worked on TNG.
Yeah.
It's got a section. Also, it's just the TNG category now.
Also, even though I still like him, a little bit of shit has to go to Ronald D. Moore, because he was responsible for writing the episode, and he did not.
I mean, they gave him a job.
Yeah, no. They gave him the job, but he did not do a good job for what they asked. Like, they asked...
Okay, and he's on my enemies list. He got a pass for a while because I did watch the first season of Outlander, and initially I liked it, but then it turned into horrible sexual violence over and over again. So I was like, you're bad. I don't like you now. But then because he did so many good Klingon things, I was like, you are slowly making your way off the enemies list. He is permanently on the enemies list.
Yeah, it wasn't his idea, but it was his execution. So that's why
he got on for good reason.
Yeah,
he was making amends, and now he's there forever.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, Ron Moore is a staff writer, and so he did whatever was required of him.
Oh, no. That's what I'm saying. I know it wasn't his idea, but it was his job to execute. They said, hey, we don't want to go further with this romance thing, so deal with it. And I don't think he did a good job dealing with it. I think he could have done a better job in backing off the romance part of the episode, and that's why I give him a tiny little bit of blame. But I
also depends on how much time they gave him, because
true.
I think it was an uncredited rewrite, so we just don't know in the end.
That's true. But I guess my point is that he's not totally blameless. He has a bit of a part to play in this.
Yeah.
But
Dory,
ultimately he's not the main villain.
Right. So Dory, I don't know if you knew about this, but the Star Trek writers are nerds.
What?
And
this is
I know, right?
news.
It's crazy.
Shocking.
And in the 90s, one of the most interesting things that Trek did that not very many other shows did was they would reach out to the fans on the internet, the very, very small internet at the time, for like feedback and getting information on things, and even like teasing ideas for the future and whatnot. And there was like a BBS at the time, a bulletin board service, kind of like an early forum chat thing, that they would get feedback from fans on when TNG was running. And the reaction to this episode was mixed. The people who liked it said it was satisfying, and the people who didn't like it were, similar to you, absolutely livid. They were like, how dare you tease this and do nothing with it?
Yeah, how dare they dangle this in front of our face and then take it away?
I didn't even talk about the whole B plot with the Morik. Watching Riker get irritated was quite funny.
Yeah.
This
episode was directed by Jonathan Frakes as well. Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Dory, you know how I said that Ron Moore was told to make the B plot stuff like less comedic? Well, there was a Riker being put on hold with elevator music scene that got cut.
Honestly, that would have improved things, I bet.
I think so, yeah.
I would have loved that. Yeah, I don't know why, but there's something about like when Riker really gets to his like tipping point sometimes. It's very funny. And yeah, just Worf had some good reactions this episode. I think I just am so, emotionally drained from the fucking yo-yo of this episode. I'm just emotional whiplash of this episode.
Yeah, because it kept making you think they were going to go for it and then pulling back at the last second. It was very frustrating.
Yeah. I didn't say this before, but I'm just like thinking about it now. I don't know, there's something about the idea of like Picard being in love with her all those years ago. But then like this vibe they've been giving off this whole other time. And he's just like, well, we're friends. Like, not just, but like, I don't know. It just, I don't know. It doesn't. Like, it feels, maybe it's because they invented that Jack Crusher was his best friend, that it just feels very like
It's too
like
convenient.
young adult
or...
romance or something.
Oh.
Like, it just, I think that kind of falling, like, you're in love with your best friend's wife. Maybe I've just like, maybe it's a combination of just like the amount of like romance novels I read, but it just feels like almost cliche at this point.
I mean, it is within the canon 20 years before this.
Yes. I don't know. It just felt very, it almost felt like cliche in a way.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something I typically would call for stuff with like Picard, but I think I was disappointed of like learning more of like, oh, he was in love with her 20 years ago. Because I'm like, okay, I don't know. In the moment, I was like, jaw is like open in shock. But now, like, thinking about it, after I've had some time to sort of think about it, I don't care for that.
Yeah. Yeah,
the current is what I want to. I don't. The fact that you had feelings for someone 20 years ago, I don't think I care.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the feeling now, which is why I think like the bigger bummer is the last scene, because it's like, oh, okay, so we kind of have now established they are kind of into each other, which is what I do care about. But they're like, meh. Like, this is the part I do care about, and you're just gonna like toss it to the ground. And you guys were so focused on the fact that he used to be in love with her, like, it's obviously still something.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I care very much about what happened 20 years ago. Especially if you're not going to show us a flashback or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Just like, because also we've never had any inclination about any kind of feelings of his towards her prior to the ship, other than they knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It feels very, to be like, yeah, used to, but now, no. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think thinking about it more, I think the issue I'm having is that, like, you know, they very clearly, like, established, like, or implied that there is attraction between them. But the fact that they revealed that it was, like, a much deeper emotional thing is, like, that just puts, like, a whole new element to this that makes it feel...
It makes it feel somehow soap opera-esque in a way. Like, it adds to... It's, like, melodramatic in a way that I would not
that doesn't
have wanted this relationship to be.
Yeah, and it doesn't quite fit the characters, in my opinion. At least, like, what... Like, yeah, this is the first time there's been any implication that this is, like, a much deeper emotional thing, rather than just, like, they're kind of hot for each other sort of deal. Like, it's...
Yeah, I rather them just, like, talking about their feelings now rather than 20 years ago, his feelings, because we don't even really establish what her thoughts were 20 years. I mean, she was with Jack Crusher.
Yeah.
So this is just a one-sided thing 20 years ago. I'm like, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very melodramatic. It's kind of cliche of, like, you're in love with your best friend's partner, spouse, whatever, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
And I want to focus on what's going on now. 20 years ago, you can't change that, but... Let's get together. If you guys are still into each other now, then fucking get together now. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, there's nothing holding them back, except if you remember what Picard's qualms were last season with that other lady. But, like, I don't care.
Yeah, but they didn't even bring that up in this episode. Like.
And I'm now going to assume that for the rest of this season, this is it. They've put a pin in it, and that's it. Don't tell me if I'm right or not, but I'm now just going to assume this is not going to be touched upon again. It's going to be like this never happened, and they're still going to have, like, a little moment here and there, but, like, this is probably never going to be acknowledged again.
I genuinely don't remember, so.
I'm just, like... my excitement or like not interest, because my interest hasn't waned, but my like joy of watching TNG, it was like last episode was upsetting, but like this is upsetting in a different way.
Yeah.
And my like looking forward to the next episodes, I feel like I just was so let down this episode. And like it's personally let down because I'm sure that other people are totally fine with this, but like I've been rooting for them for so long, and this is the episode they give us to be like, look. I'm like, no, I don't want to look. I'd rather like scream into the void.
It's kind of like soured things for you a little bit.
Yeah, and now if there's like a Picard romance episode again this season, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. So there better not be. Picard better not have a single romance with another person for the rest of this season, or I'm gonna just well, you guys are gonna hear it. You're gonna there will be anger.
Again, I don't remember. I don't think
there
so.
will be blood.
What if Dr. Crusher has a romance this season?
No, I don't want that either. I don't think either of them should. Like they, I'm angry at both of them. I don't want either. They're gonna have a romance. It's with each other or nothing. That's where I stand. Together or nothing. And that's what I want. I hate this like teasing thing. I think also I've watched shows where I got burned into like teasing, and I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, go big or go home. Don't give me one or the other. Don't tease me with shit. All it does is I feel like I'm being cheated and my time is being wasted.
Yeah.
Either say yes, they're going for it, or no, we're not going for it. Don't fucking lead me along like this. The only thing that would be worse is if they got together, they became like a secret couple off, like, not off camera, but like we don't see it, and then like later on it's revealed they've been secretly together. That's the only thing that would be worse.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
no,
I've
TNG
been
wouldn't
burned
do
like
that
on TV shows before, where like they literally were in a secret relationship and you had no idea until it's like randomly revealed.
Oh, it wasn't
And
part
I
of
was
it.
so mad.
Oh. Yeah, that would
Star
be...
Trek
no
is not
idea
the type
that,
to
like,
hold anything back like that. It's too blatant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Bones, the TV show. They're on my enemies list.
Hey, leave Leonard Bones McCoy out of this.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a secret relationship, like, it should be part of the
audience
show.
Know.
Yeah.
The audience should know about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want either of them to have any more romances this season. Honestly, I'm just thinking about it. I could do with nobody having, and this is coming from me who loves the romance. I don't want anyone to have romance this season. I want fun shenanigans. Let's just focus on the bridge crew interacting, having fun with each other. I do not want romances this season. And I can't believe I'm saying that. And people who listen, who know me in real life, are going to be shocked to hear me say that. But and we're only, this is episode, what, 8 of, I'm assuming 20-something episodes. And I say, I don't want to see a romance. I don't want to see any romances from anyone on the bridge crew.
25 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. We got a fuck ton left, and I'm saying no romance.
Well, one of them's a double length.
Yeah.
Well, regardless, my only exception is if Troy and Riker somehow decide to be together. Otherwise, nothing for no one.
Yeah. Honestly, I know you say that to me it's not shocking because I'm just like, because of your pro-revenge stance, the episode being the episode like fully taking away Picard Crusher, I understand your motivation to be like, okay, nothing for anyone now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is true. That's actually a really good point.
All right. Any other thoughts on the episode before we move on?
I mean, yes and no, but I think I think if I go more, I'm just going to get angrier. And I might end up regretting saying something.
Okay.
Even more than me regretting saying that Michael Pillar will get what is coming to him. And then finding out he's dead. That I genuinely do feel bad about. Because I was like kidding, but I do feel very bad about that. When I get fired up, I just start talking and I keep going and I don't think about it until so I think I'm gonna stop here.
That's
otherwise
fair.
I'm just gonna get angrier.
You didn't know that, but yeah, it's fair fair that we stop it here. So
Yeah.
this is gonna be interesting now that I move on to our next segment, which is favorite lines and moments.
Okay, I did have some like lines I liked. I liked when in the last scene when like Picard when Dr. C's like, I couldn't sleep and I saw your like dreams, and Picard's like, a man cannot be held responsible for what his mind does while he's asleep. And then she goes, what about when he's awake? And I was like, haha, lols. And I did like Riker getting frustrated. I liked that Dr. C is very relatable to me of getting in trouble for talking as a child. I liked when they're in like the cell at the beginning and Picard's like, like you have to like think positively and like don't give up hope, and then Dr. C's immediately like, I'm beginning to think negatively, John Luke. I liked Worf standing in shock for 5 full seconds after hearing that Dr. C and Picard are missing. And I like that we got to see the whole back row of Spencer's Gifts. I haven't been to a Spencer's Gifts in a really long time, and this gave me a little bit of joy seeing the amount of glow-in-the-dark shit. And I like the outfits at the end.
That's fair. I thought the acting that Patrick Stewart and Gates McFadden did in their in those scenes where they're discussing like their feelings and stuff was really good. I really liked that.
Yes, their acting was excellent in this.
I don't like what the episode did. However, I thought the executions of the scenes they had, even though I disagree with those scenes, I thought was really good. Cause I thought the acting, it was well acted. Even though I disagree with what those scenes were doing. And yeah, I like the like couple funny moments that the B plot had, with Riker getting annoyed and all that stuff. But yeah, that's the main stuff that I liked from the episode.
I was actually really fascinated with the juxtaposition of how Picard and Crusher's story was taken fairly seriously, and then they cast this guy for the head of the Kess with these fucking like goofy bug eyes every time that he's looking at the camera. Like he looked like the guy on Trailer Park Boys with the fucking glasses.
Oh, Bubbles.
Yes, there we go. He looked like Bubbles in the way that he was always like staring at things. And like I get they were trying to go with or they were trying to go for like a more of a lighthearted tone with that in the first place, and that might have been the script that they originally read. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And they probably he was probably directed flat out to just be like, hey, this is how you're playing the character. And I know that Jonathan Frakes is a good director, and it's one of those things where it's like when you've got like a week long to make your episode, there's some things that you kind of stuff gets missed, or stuff doesn't get focused on quite the same way. But I just thought it was a really strange juxtaposition because just the way he carried himself was very amusing and not unlike other silly aliens in TNG, and it was just impossible to take their plight seriously. And I actually kind of loved when Riker locked both him and the Prit woman in the room at the end.
Yeah.
It's just like, here you go, sort out your own problems. And I'm like, that's a very Kirk move. And it's too bad nothing came out of that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Jonathan Frakes is a good director, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I just thought that the Kess guy acted a little too sketchy for what they were trying to go for with the episode.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And, like, you can't, sometimes you can't tell is it the director that asked the actor to act this way, or was this the actor's choice and stuff? And you can never really tell, but, like, given Jonathan Frakes' other episodes, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that this was an odd choice by the actor rather than his direction. But yeah, I didn't necessarily agree with the decisions that were being made in his performance.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean,
Yeah,
every person who does a job can have an off time to do it too,
Yeah,
as well. I mean, not everyone nails it out or hits it out of the park every time.
Yeah, I don't think he was a bad actor. I don't feel, regardless of whose decisions it was, whether it was directing or the actor, I don't think they were the right decisions. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they were like a bad actor or anything. I thought they're fine.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. Okay, so that brings us to predictions for the next episode. So, Dory, the next episode is called Force of Nature. And from what I remember, it's not really... I don't think this is really centered around one character, necessarily. Maybe Geordi and Data, a little bit. But your tidbit is that space environmentalists interfere with the Enterprise's mission.
Okay.
So what do you think a space environmentalist would be concerned about?
Space fracking.
Keeping in mind, Dory, this was 1993, so there may be an opportunity for writers to write some kind of allegory if they're writing about environmentalists.
Yeah, and I will say that the allegory is still kind of poignant. It's still relevant, in my opinion.
Okay. So the Enterprise is drilling for oil. And no, I'm kidding.
So it's specifically...
The Enterprise is helping build a pipeline.
So I will say that it specifically has to do with something that's happening in space, nothing that's down on a planet.
Okay, so maybe... Okay, I'm going to really have to pull this out of my ass because I don't know enough about space to know what, like...
This is also a sci-fi show, so you can just make something up, too.
I'm going to have to, because I don't even know what would be, like, space environmentalist stuff. Other than, like, oh no, the black hole is expanding and eating planets.
So think in the same vein as, like, Greenpeace activists, where they're...
I don't know what they do. I know of them, but I don't actually know what they, like, protest specifically.
Yeah, but I mean in terms of, like, how they will go and do protests by interfering in a specific, like, project that a company is doing that would impact the environment.
My thing is I'm trying to think of what would be the space environment issue. But I don't know enough about space environment.
I'll tell you it's a made-up thing.
That's what I assumed, but I'm trying to think of, like, what would I make up that would moderately make sense for my prediction. That's what I'm more caught up on, is a fake and space environmental issue. Okay, I got something. Okay, so maybe an asteroid or something got some kind of like started to like disintegrate in a certain area, and it maybe had like toxic something in it and is slowly like spreading the toxic like fumes from the messed up asteroid to like surrounding areas, and it's starting to fuck around with like maybe sort of atmospheres and maybe interfere like with other stars.
Yeah.
Like star health, and maybe stars are dying prematurely because of this toxic shit from the asteroid that broke off. And so my guess is maybe the Enterprise wants to like either like study this the star dying or something, because it does seem like something they would like to. I feel like they have done something with that of like
They
something
have,
with the star. Yeah. So maybe they want to go investigate something with that, but they're not really like helping the situation, because if they go over there, then the Enterprise could get like the exterior of it could get contaminated, and then it flies somewhere else, and it brings with that like contaminated toxic air with them, even though like the people inside are safe. So these space environmentalists are like, first they're like, you can't enter this area, but they try to like sneak, but they then get contaminated anyways, and so now they're like, well, you might have the Enterprise might have to die. Like they're like, everyone can they don't even know how to like get everyone off the Enterprise, because it's like because then they'd have, I guess they can transport. Okay, so maybe they do that. They want to want to transport everyone off the Enterprise. But Picard and friends are like, maybe we can come up with a solution to like save the ship, but also how to like fix the air in this area.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like a situation, if the Enterprise leaves, they risk spreading this shit further, so they're preventing them from leaving.
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. So, if you want to see if Dory's correct, watch along with us and join us for the next episode of Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.